This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Ryfun. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome back from the Christmas holidays. Hope you enjoyed our first episode of Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Ryfun, and I'm here alongside with my co-host, Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
Man, I'm doing good. My contract said that I only had to do one episode. So I don't know why I'm back for episode 2, but no. I'm excited to be back for Cinema Debrief. And we have got a couple of great movies that we're going to talk about for sure. And what else could we talk about? We don't know. Like Christmas stuff, maybe. Like what did you get for Christmas? Like I know you got some stuff for Christmas.
Yeah,
I bought myself a couple things for Christmas. So I mean,
well, of course,
yeah.
I'm getting to the age where I'm 28.
Yes,
and so I have a salary and a job that hopefully is long term. And I'm able to buy myself a lot of things. So
yeah, me too. I don't get much for Christmas, so
it becomes harder for my parents and my grandparents to buy me things. My grandparents at this point just give me cash, which is fine.
That's wise.
Yeah, that's great. My parents decided to get me some movies this year,
Nice.
and they did a great job of picking out the movies.
Yeah.
The only unfortunate problem was that I owned 4 of the 6 of them already, so I had to unfortunately return those 4.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, movies,
but you can replace them with other things. So
yeah, exactly.
So it's like they're getting you whatever movies you want to get. That's like the good way to look at it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, there were great selections. You know, they did a good job. It's just I unfortunately own them.
You owned them. So what are the 2 that you didn't already own?
So I got Scanners, Criterion, and I got Picnic at Hanging Rock, Criterion as well. An Australian film, as Aussie Nate pointed out in our Discord, I think.
It is an Australian
Picnic
film.
at Hanging Rock.
Yeah. And that's one that I believe has been remade a couple of times. It may have even been remade into a miniseries one time. But yeah, it's one of those that has been around long enough that ends up getting remade, you know, which happens from time to time. Yeah. No, I mean, as far as Christmas is concerned, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. My kids like to get me like funny little Star Wars things for Christmas every once in a while. They usually get me some little, you know, Lego set or something like that. As far as moviedom is concerned, I bought myself a Christmas classic called Eyes Wide Shut. It came in the mail. I actually had purchased it quite a while ago, but I guess it was on back order or something from Barnes & Noble. So I purchased it during the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale.
Yeah.
It was an online only purchase because I've got 2 local stores, which I know blessed to have 2 local Barnes & Nobles, but which is crazy that is even happening, but neither one of them had it. So I wanted to get that sale price. So, and because I'm a Barnes & Noble premium member, shipping is free. So you pay like an annual fee, and it's just like Amazon Prime. You pay an annual fee and you get free shipping. It's the same concept. So you can take advantage of any sales that they have if they don't have stuff in store, because often with Criterion, it gets picked through pretty quick on those sales. Like the people that know when those sales are going to start will go that first week and just like load up. And so a lot of the stuff ends up being online sales. So Eyes Wide Shut. It was a 4K upgrade.
A lot of the popular stuff that comes out within the couple months beforehand will usually get picked through.
Totally, which happened with Eyes Wide Shut. I also got myself, I guess, if you want to count this as a Christmas, this was an early Christmas present, A History of Violence on 4K. That was during the Barnes & Noble sale. So those are my 2 most recent purchases. I've got a bunch of stuff pre-ordered that'll come next year. Which we can say now, since it's the 27th, we can say it'll come next year. So I'm looking forward to the new year. I know there will be tons of titles that are coming out in 2026 because physical media is not dead. In fact, I would say it's probably thriving.
There was an article that came out this week, and I didn't send this to you, so we didn't, we haven't show prepped any of this, but it was a little bit just going over how Gen Z is starting to help prop up the physical media marketplace.
Yeah.
They saw massive growth there this past year with Gen Z starting to collect physical media. So
I know
I think that's great.
our friend Jeremy Burgess considers himself Gen Z. I don't know how that works.
He's like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
Have you
he's
seen
like
that interview with
yeah,
him and Jennifer Lawrence?
yeah. And I know that Jeremy collects VHS tapes, which no comment. I mean, that's just a media. That's just I don't know.
You had
If
to
you're
be there.
collecting just to have like the VHS and the box and stuff, because the format itself is not even. I wouldn't even say it's superior to Laserdisc. Like I even think Laserdisc.
It's not.
I mean, I know, but I mean, it's I don't know. Depending on the Laserdisc, it's close at least, but not.
Well,
really,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
And they take up so much room. So, anyways, I will say there's a really cool shop that I got to visit a couple months ago up in Huntsville, Alabama, called KB's VHS shop, and she's got like just a little space in one of those antique mall type places. Which is cool. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to those antique malls that have a bunch of different spots. This one's a little bit unique because each of the spots has an actual store owner there sitting in the shop as you walk around into these little shops. Really cool space. I was able to unload some of my older DVDs that I had upgraded. And I just gave them to her for free just because, helping support a local business. And I think she paid it forward and gave some of my copies of some things for free because she's running out of room. She's got so much stuff in there. But Jeremy had turned me on to that shop, and it's just neat to see because in Birmingham, a little bit bigger city than Huntsville, we don't have anything like that. We don't have a VHS shop or even a DVD shop, other than, of course, some of the bigger places like Barnes & Noble, but no locally owned VHS shop or DVD shop you could walk into and help support, which I find interesting that Huntsville's got a couple of those, but Birmingham has none. So it goes to show you the different ages of maybe the people that are living in Huntsville versus Birmingham.
I can tell you that Brunswick has zero.
Well,
we used to have a Blockbuster. I'm sure we maybe even had some other locally owned video. Well, actually, I'm lying to you. What am I talking about? We have a video rental store still.
Okay, there you go.
In Brunswick, Georgia.
Yeah, you've told me about that place before.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about it. It's in an area of town I don't go to a lot.
Well, yeah.
It's not a bad area.
Yeah.
It's just one I just don't go towards a lot.
You should go check it out. Support your little local business there and see what they've got.
I looked in the window one day that I was off, and I realized I looked at their hours and I went, "Oh, they're not open," but they're open very limited hours nowadays. But it's still cool that we have a video rental shop in
Again, you've already beat Birmingham. Birmingham does not have one, which is so wild to me. Like if I had just money coming out of like if I had some windfall, then I'd probably open up a shop just to say that I had one. If I didn't have to worry about like bills or whatever, and just had money just coming out of nowhere, I would
trust fund, baby.
I'd open up a VHS shop, or I'd probably not I'd open DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, maybe Laserdisc just for the fun of it, just because I've got a Laserdisc collection that I came upon. But no, I mean, I love the idea of that, just because it reminds me of Clerks, where you just have a guy sitting in there and people coming in saying, "You remember that movie with that person with that?" And they're trying to figure out like what movie. That really did happen a lot. I used to work at Blockbuster, and that happened a lot. People would come in thinking that they could describe a couple of different things to you, and you'd be able to guess what movie that they were talking about that they wanted to rent. And I'm like, what? That's not how that works. So anyways, what else you got? What else did you want to talk about?
Christmas at the box office. Best Christmas at the box office since 2019. It just edged out 2023's Christmas.
That's awesome.
It's still about 10 million, I think, kind of behind where 2019 was. But I mean, you're seeing more consistency. You're seeing the box office heal in some ways. And to be honest with you, the actuals are not in for most of the films. Marty Supreme's actuals are in, but Avatar's still listed at 24 million.
Nice.
Which is not an actual number. There's no way it's even like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the finite numbers are eventually. But
what did Marty end up doing for the weekend? Or what do they get? What are they saying it'll do?
Well, the 3-day, I think they're looking at like 17 for the 3-day, but for Christmas, it's like 30. It's close to 30.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that up around 50, but that's good. That's good enough.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on it.
Oh man.
Look, and we'll get to the discussion of the film in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I saw it and Anaconda this weekend.
Nice.
I supported Anaconda. It was all right. There are some really, it's kind of one of those things where there were some really funny moments at times, but it's just it didn't fully work for me.
Yeah.
As Steve Zahn though is fantastic.
Nice. He's good in everything he's in.
He steals about every scene he's in.
Yeah, he's like one of those guys that's great in pretty much everything that he's in. So I can believe that. I believe that he could steal scenes from people. And that's tough to do, stealing scenes from Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Those are some big personalities. And
they've got their moments, but there's just, I don't know. It's just not.
Yeah.
I almost want like a Bowfinger 2 with them instead of this Anaconda movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost the same premise, but I feel like it'd be better done.
I think so
if you were doing it as like a Bowfinger 2 instead.
Yeah.
Steve Zahn's great though. But my mission and goal getting out of Anaconda was actually to not only see the new movie Anaconda, but also walk into the Avatar theater right next door and catch the new Doomsday trailer, because they're supposed to have a second
How'd that
Doomsday
go for
trailer
you?
with Thor. I walked in, I sat down, edge of my seat. There was nobody in the theaters. I was like, oh no, what if this gets like shut down or something?
Yeah.
Then some kids walk in and I'm like, okay, good. And I'm like, let me make sure I'm not sitting in their seats. And,
that's always the danger now. You just never know if you're taking some. I guess you could always look at whatever app you use to see if a seat's taken. But
it was past the 9:30, so I couldn't look in the app anymore.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So I just kind of had to chance it.
Right.
And nobody sat up there, which was good.
Yeah.
I was probably a little too far away from the screen, but when the trailer came on, it was still the Steve trailer. And I sat through it and nothing else.
Hoping that it would be the second one.
Yeah.
Because I know
like Kyle in the Discord said that he got both.
Was that Heil that said that? That he got both? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Of course, the only way I've seen the trailer is the one that you put in the Discord. So I haven't seen the actual trailer. I would guess it'll hit on Tuesday, just like the previous.
I'd assume so as well. But we know it's Thor. We know that he wants to get home to his daughter. He wants.
Well,
to get
she's
home
actually
to his
in the trailer too. I did not expect that to see her in the trailer, so that's cool.
He wants to get home to his daughter, and to get home to his daughter to raise her as not a warrior, but as a normal person, to raise her away from battle and stuff like that. And he's praying to Odin to get home safely. So that means he must think that there's some real danger here.
You know what I really loved about the trailer is it kind of felt like old school Thor. Mm-hmm. Like it felt like not Love and Thunder Thor, not even Ragnarok Thor.
No,
it almost felt like he's a more serious character.
Well,
I liked that.
It felt kind of like Infinity War Thor, or even the original, Thor from the
Kenneth
beginning.
Branagh,
yeah.
I know that he never said these words, but I could tell in interviews post Love and Thunder that he was kind of perturbed about where the character had gone.
Well, it's interesting because I don't want to get off on too much of a Thor tangent, but he clearly loved Ragnarok. And I think he really liked Taika Waititi.
Sure.
I think the studio really liked Taika Waititi. I think a lot of the world liked Taika Waititi at the time.
Ragnarok was good. Yeah.
I think he got kind of free reign at that point to do what he wanted on Love and Thunder. And I think sometimes you got to rein some of these guys in. That may not be a popular take.
No, I think that's true. I mean, I think sometimes you need a voice at the table, and that would be like a good producer, or just somebody else working on the film. That can say, "Hey, Taiki, let's pull this back, baby. I mean, let's not go this too far here."
Yeah. Feige's the kind of guy who should have been there saying something, but if you've read articles from around that time, you'll know that Feige was literally running away from people in the offices because he had too much on his plate.
That's unfortunate.
And so it is good that they have slowed down now.
I think so too. I mean, it's one of those things that as a fan of the Marvel universe, you like you want more content, but but at the same time you understand that pulling back can lead to better things and just a more quality product
and more anticipation a lot of the time
and
too.
more anticipation, which we're not used to. Let's be honest. Like as really since I would say Iron Man, and maybe even a little bit before that, fandom in general of this particular type of genre is not used to having to wait for things.
No,
it's
2020 was painful.
right, exactly. Yeah, we want our content all the time, to the detriment of the product sometimes. And I think that if we can learn how to get back to the 90s where we have to wait for a little while for things, it's okay. I think that's why Robert Meyer Burnett was thinking that they were going to split Doomsday into 2 films, and that we're actually getting it sooner than December. We're getting like a part 1 in June, and like people are just wanting the content now. They don't want to have to wait till December. And it's just, look, it's just the way it is. I mean, we've got to there'll be stuff. We'll have Wonder Man.
Yeah.
We'll have some, we'll have Vision.
All episodes dropping on the same day, by the way.
I know, which is unfortunate. Are we going to have Vision Quest? I don't know.
They claim 26. I think that'll be moved to 27.
You think
just like Wonder Man was 25, but then got moved to 26.
Well, but we will have Daredevil Born Again season 2, though, right?
Yes, in spring. Yep,
that will be something.
X-Men 97 season 2 in summer.
Yeah, we'll have stuff. I mean, we'll have content, and we'll just, that anticipation will build to Doomsday, and it'll make it worth it. I mean, it'll make it all the more better.
Yeah,
in my opinion, at least. I don't know. So do we want to dive into off the shelf? So really, I wish that I could say that there is some like magical formula about what my off-the-shelf picks are going to be, but I think I alluded to last week, I'm going to start with all my boutique labels. So because it's in alphabetical order, Arrow is the first boutique label that I've got, and I'm also going by, so most boutiques have like a numbering system for their movies, and I'm going by earliest to most recent as far as the numbering system is concerned. So although this film starts with an S, it's actually the earliest Arrow that I have that I had not seen. So that's why Stormy Monday hit. Now, the kismet of it was that Megadoc, which Mike Lee just directed, which is, if you're not familiar with what Megadoc is, we also talked about it briefly last week, but it's the documentary chronicling the creation of Megalopolis, Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. I actually liked the documentary better than I did the movie. I thought Megadoc was awesome. I thought Shia LaBeouf is a madman, and the interactions that he had with Francis Ford Coppola were some of the most intriguing things that I have ever seen. So I thought it was interesting, and it happenstance that the first film that I pulled off the shelf was Mike Figgis's first film from 1988. Now, he's a British director. If you're not familiar with, I think I said it last week, but really his biggest film is Leaving Las Vegas, the one that Nicolas Cage won the Academy Award for, his solo Academy Award. Maybe someday he'll get another one, but for right now, he won Best Actor. And then history will show that after he won Best Actor for Leaving Las Vegas, he started just doing whatever money-making movies that he could do, like making as much money as fast as possible, is what he did after he got his Oscar. But Mike Figgis, an interesting guy. He directed several films in his career. I mean, most of them smaller films that not a lot of people saw. You would have thought that he would have had kind of a boost from Leaving Las Vegas, but he really didn't have much of a boost. I'll say this about Stormy Monday. He's kind of the jack of all trades in this one. He wrote and directed it, but he also composed the score, which I thought was cool. Very John Carpenter of him, composing his own score. Another really interesting tidbit about this particular film is that Roger Deakins was the DP on it. So I thought that was cool. He, much younger, obviously, and had done a couple of bigger films before this, but really, it seems like the late 80s is kind of when Deakins kind of started doing a bunch of stuff that people know him for, like Barton Fink, and he started working with the Coen brothers and gaining notoriety. But
right after this,
I wouldn't say, based upon the cinematography of this film, there wasn't anything distinct in it. I would say that it has, which I'm sure it was going for this, but it has kind of a film noir vibe. If you look at like the early 80s in England, there was a lot of movies like, what was it called? I think it was The Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa, early 80s British films that were all around like this gangster lifestyle. Bob Hoskins happened to be in both of those. Mona Lisa, directed by Neil Jordan, that was kind of his first movie. But all of that, just this gritty gangster lifestyle that Americans don't necessarily equate England with that type of thing. Like, I don't think gangster when I think England, but apparently there was a lot of that going on. And so this film, Stormy Monday, kind of follows in those footsteps. The story itself, I felt was a bit disjointed, but the idea of it, you've got like this American businessman / gangster played by Tommy Lee Jones, who is coming over to England. And I meant to ask our resident Anglophile in our Discord, Uncle Brian, if America Week is still a thing, because that was,
I have to imagine it is not.
That was the weirdest thing. So, not knowing much about the geography of England, this particular film takes place specifically in the Newcastle region of London. And there was a festival going on called America Week, where it seems like this particular small town of Newcastle was promoting and somewhat obsessed with all things America. And so you've got Melanie Griffith's character, who is already working there on behalf of Tommy Lee Jones's character. So she had come before him, and she was working in a nightclub, kind of a waitress, and probably doing some other things, we gather, that are not necessarily, maybe I would call her maybe a call girl, not necessarily a prostitute, but a call girl, sort of like upper end. She was doing some of that, and she was there at the behest of Tommy Lee Jones's character, who did he was playing Tommy Lee Jones, really. Like that's the problem a lot of times with seeing some of these characters, like seeing some of these actors that maybe you haven't seen some of their earlier roles. You're like, oh, so he's pretty much been like that in a lot of his roles. He's kind of got this persona and this way of just acting very American and macho, which is kind of what this character was. Then you've got like a super young Sean Bean. Like Sean Bean before he could afford to get his teeth fixed. So he still had those like bad British teeth, which I thought was hilarious. But super young.
I didn't realize he was playing Brendan. Okay. That's the only one in the cast I didn't recognize.
Yeah, that was him. Wow. Like super, like he was like almost unrecognizable Sean Bean. Like super, still built, but like skinnier, like much skinnier.
Now that you say it, I go, yeah, he is Sean Bean. Okay.
Yeah. So he's playing Brennan. He kind of, he's just a guy trying to make a living, and he sees an ad in a newspaper to be sort of like the cleaning crew at this nightclub owned by Sting, which Sting I loved in this movie because he just has like charisma that oozes off the screen. If you remember him in Dune, kind of like that way, he's only been in a couple of movies, but he always just sort of steals every scene he's in, kind of.
Yeah. He's got this cool air about him. I mean, like you don't realize that he's being calculated and planning until some things start to happen, and you're like, okay, well, he actually knows what he's doing, and he's got this kind of under control.
Yeah, exactly. So the American businessman / gangster, what's the character's name? I guess his name is Cosmo.
Yes,
typical Francis American Cosmo. He he comes to town, and his whole deal about being there is that he wants to take over the club that Sting owns.
Yep.
And do that by any means necessary type of situation, which, typical. He sends some heavies to the club, and one of those is a guy that is a British character actor that you would recognize because he's been in anything British. That guy, James Cosmo, that's the guy's real name. He played Tony. Now, obviously much younger than this, because this came out much younger in Stormy Monday because it came out in 88. But that particular character actor, he has been in so much stuff over the years that I recognized him fairly quickly. I was like, oh, wow, he's much younger here. But he kind of plays the henchman for the American businessman named Cosmo. And so I, for the most part, thought that the movie was okay. I wasn't like blown away by it.
Yeah.
I thought that the character work, Melanie Griffith, God bless her, she actually is just about as wooden as her daughter is, as far as acting is concerned. Like, I can kind of see where Dakota Johnson gets some of her just mannerisms in a way. Like, I could see Dakota Johnson in Melanie. Like, Melanie just has this monotone way of delivering her lines. Now, I'm not going to say that she's that way in all of her films, because she's got some stuff that she's pretty well known for, like Working Girl, that she has a little bit more of a personality. But I guess this was probably kind of early in her career, and maybe she was still trying to find her voice as an actress, but it was just kind of just very monotone pretty much throughout. I don't know if you got the same sense.
Yeah. She didn't really, I honestly forgot she was Melanie Griffith.
See, that's the problem. That's a problem when, like, you're on.
I just was like, yeah, this is some British or something actress.
No.
I know she isn't doing a British accent, but there's so much of this crew and everything that's British that I just.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a British film. It's just Melanie and Tommy Lee Jones, I guess, were big enough at the time.
Well, and here's what I read on that.
Yeah.
So I got some production background, which this is just on the Wikipedia page too, but I read some other places as well, which is that they had Channel 4 financing.
Oh, okay.
Which is British.
Yep, exactly.
And then they got an American company called Atlantic Pictures or something to come in and also finance the film. When those guys came on board, they said you need to put in a couple of Americans.
Yeah.
Because we want to be able to market it, obviously, in America. And so they got Tommy Lee Jones and Melanie Griffith at that point.
I wonder if that like completely changed the script then, and they
I would
added
have to
the
imagine
whole
they just,
American Week thing.
I feel like they just. This is my interpretation, because I was thinking similar, but then I was like, maybe they just had British people playing Americans.
Probably, yeah.
Because I feel like it's such a radical change to the script that it can't have been that.
It can't have been that. Yeah, that's interesting though, that the American finance company was like, "Hey, we want some big name Americans," and I guess like early, I guess this was late '80s. Melanie and Tommy Lee both hadn't quite like gotten huge yet. So I'm sure they weren't like so expensive that it broke the bank.
They were affordable. The budget of the movie is $4 million, which is, so I mean, in today's standards, that would be super cheap. Back then, it's pretty cheap.
Back then it's pretty cheap. Yeah, and that's interesting for a first-time filmmaker to get a somewhat sizable budget. You would think that he would have to, because as far as IMDb is concerned, this was his first film. Now, I didn't check and see if he did any television work before this, but this was kind of like his first narrative feature.
He did a television movie called The House in 1984.
Okay.
It does not even have a Wikipedia page. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. So anyways, I mean, guy gets a little bit of a budget, at least now, maybe not then, but now recognizable people for us. Yeah. I mean, Sean Bean, obviously then wouldn't have been a recognizable guy, but for us, recognizable now.
Yep.
Sting, I mean, he was huge everywhere. He was.
That's probably the biggest part of your budget.
Of the Police, Sting, exactly. So he was pretty big, and he's so good. Like, when you're looking at Sting, obviously everything that you know about Sting comes into your mind as you're watching the movie. But at the same time, I think that the performance was different enough from what maybe his persona as Sting is, that he pulled it off, in my opinion. Like, he was kind of, for me, the best thing about the movie was Sting, the Sting character. I thought Sean Bean was fine. He played the fish out of water, young guy, not knowing, like, he did that well, which, I mean, at the time, that might have been kind of accurate because very early in his career. So he played that role really well. Tommy Lee Jones kind of annoyed me a little bit. Melanie Griffith kind of annoyed me a little bit. I mean, I just think both those performances were kind of boring. The henchmen were fine, but I mean, overall, not like a complete loss. But I felt like if you want to watch like really good early '80s British gangster films, both The Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa are better than this was. I mean, heck, though, I mean, a great start for Figgis, though. I mean, a great directorial debut. You could tell that the guy had at least the ability to put whatever his vision was on screen and it not be too disjointed. I mean,
having Deakins as his DP doesn't hurt either.
No,
and that's now, not a huge name at the time, but huge eventually.
And like I said, like for me at least, there wasn't anything like amazing.
No,
about
I was going to say the same thing.
The shoot, but still, just having Roger Deakins as your DP, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, obviously he's an Academy Award winner now.
Yeah,
but then just getting started.
Did you notice the first like 6 or 7 minutes of the film? There's no dialogue.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
There's radio at one point, but I don't count that as the characters talking.
That, and what worried me about that radio stuff, I was afraid that was going to last through the whole movie, like the way that they were doing that. And luckily they pulled that back. I mean, they still had it some during the movie, but yeah, for the first 6 minutes, bold choice, having absolutely no dialogue.
When I'm like, why are we seeing this band that's crashed on the road? What is happening here? I was starting to go, oh no.
The Polish band was another really strange aspect of the movie.
That spoiler alert, that poor guy at the end.
Oh, I know.
That poor Polish guy didn't deserve to die.
No, he didn't.
It's like the most innocent guy in all of this.
It was it was very shocking to see that happen, because it wasn't something that was alluded to at all that was going to happen. Like, it was very strange. Tommy Lee Jones, not a fan of Polish jazz. He wanted them out of his America Fest convention, which I thought that was pretty funny. But they had to fill in last minute because somebody got stuck at an airport or something like that.
Well, so, I think the other band crashed on the road, didn't they?
Oh, maybe that's the one that crashed on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. And so their name was, oh man, I'm blanking on it right now, but their name was on the drum kit.
Yeah. And so this Polish band that happened to be staying at the hotel already happened, and the whole that whole side storyline of the Polish band was really strange to me. I'm like, I don't know the significance of this.
It only works to get to that dancing scene where the two characters, Brennan and Kate, is that her name?
Kate,
start to get to know each other a little more and connect a little more, and and then at the same time we get the Polish guy a girlfriend to eventually be killed in the car with,
and then they later on get brutally murdered,
and then flash you back to the dance,
and then flashes back to the dance. So I would have wanted more from Melanie Griffith in this. I mean, she was kind of billed in a way as the star. She was in the most scenes in the film, I think. But she just did not deliver, just like sometimes her daughter does not deliver. I mean, it's just like, you want to like her a lot.
Yeah.
Melanie Griffith, Dakota Johnson, like, you want to like both of those people a lot, but wooden performance to me. I mean, a little bit of a wooden performance. I don't think that she was necessarily reacting in a way that I would think that a person in her situation would react all the time. But yeah, anyways, I gave it like a 3 out of 5. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it did not get to any next level for me. I'm very excited about my next one in a couple of weeks that I get to mention, but
okay.
unless you've got anything else, what is going to be your off the shelf pick for us next week?
I'm going to pick The Abyss.
Nice.
Feels like a good time to do that. We've got
James Cameron. Yeah,
we're going to go with the special edition cut if that's fine.
Of course. Yeah, that's the one you want. You want the one that has the additional. Yeah, that's the one you want. So you've never seen any of The Abyss that you can recall.
I've never seen.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited. I've got that version. So
we actually own the Abyss DVD with the special edition, and I popped it in a TV a few years ago, and I started the movie, and I realized it was pillar boxed, meaning it was made for a 4:3 TV.
Yeah.
So it got boxed all around the picture, and it was so low grade because it was an early DVD that it looked terrible, especially when blown up to 100 inches or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like,
not good.
Yeah, so I held off because I was like, at some point they're going to do a a remaster on this movie, and of course they wound up doing it a couple years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was a couple years ago.
Put it out on 4K, so it says 24. So
yeah, that's right.
Almost a couple years ago.
Almost a couple years ago. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited for that. It's one of the few Camerons I haven't seen, and obviously he gets to work with water here. Some famous stories behind the scenes where he had a really tough time. So
right.
Maybe didn't treat some crew members really well during it, but
I'll say this: friend of the show, Dave, loves The Abyss. Like one of his favorite movies of all time is The Abyss.
There you go, Christmas present for Dave. So
yeah, Christmas present for Dave. So let's move on to. I mean,
let's talk about it.
I mean, spoiler
Marty
alert: this
Supreme
catapulted to my number one of the year.
This might also be my number one of the year.
This movie is something special.
Let me talk about my theater experience and why I'm hesitant to put it at number one first.
Okay, go for it.
And because I want to ask you about your theater, just to make sure maybe I was being wrong.
Okay.
But I went in the theater and I went, oh crud, it's in auditorium number one here.
Okay.
Auditorium number one, I've noticed the last few times I've been in there, the center channel seems a lot lower.
Oh no.
Because in the center channel is dialogue. So if people don't know that at home, so when the trailers play, some trailers, if the music's so loud, Wuthering Heights, I can't hear any of the dialogue in auditorium one.
Okay, so that's just a bad auditorium for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got some in my theater that are that way. Luckily.
Well, and the bad thing is, it's one of the newer theaters. It's it's got really nice seating. It's got the recliner seats and everything.
Yeah.
But it's got a giant screen. It's not GTX, but it's big. But for some reason, the center channel is just too low. Versus the surround, other stuff is booming and loud. And so when I was watching the movie, if there was ever a point where the score was loud and they started talking, I could not make out a lot of the dialogue. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, luckily for me, that's always the gamble with this. So the particular theater that I went to is the oldest AMC in town, but they 3 or 4 years ago they did a complete refurb of it. So it's a smaller AMC, so there's no premium screen at all at this particular location. But it does have the reclining seats. It has where you can get, it's got the AMC bar so they like refurbed everything that they possibly could. At the same time, they got new speakers in all the theaters. But there are a couple of them, even after just 4 years, where the speakers are shot and they're buzzing a little bit. Now, luckily for me, Marty Supreme was not in one of those theaters. Like I know that the Theater 12 has issues. There's another theater, but Theater 11, smaller theater, but it's fine. Like no sound issue. Like everything is calibrated as it should be. The screen, they've got the masking correct in the screen, so everything's good. So I heard the dialogue just fine. The surround sound everything was good for me as far as my experience was concerned. Luckily there wasn't no cell phone starers, Which a lot of times with the way that the AMC reclining seats are, there's space in between those now.
Yeah.
So unless you're sitting right next to somebody on your right or left that is a cell phone starer, then it's not going to bother you. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
So I had like I sat in a row with just a couple, and we were all three of us were locked in. So which is Marty Supreme is a movie that will lock you in.
Yes,
it is.
Which was brilliant. Why I was frustrated, because I was locked in.
Yeah, that's
and then
a bummer.
I couldn't hear the dialogue at times.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So
because
I did get up to the staff, and
a lot of dialogue in this movie.
I watched them walk in on a scene where the score wasn't loud, and then the guy kind of throw his hands up like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong." So I then went out there and was like, "No, you don't understand. It's when the score is playing,
yeah,
and it's booming, and you can't hear the dialogue." And I don't know if they actually turned or fixed anything. Because I really wasn't good at the end either. So, but let's talk about the movie. I loved this. This felt like an evolution of Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah,
I really liked Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
but I thought this was an even better version of that story, basically. That type of story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. So this one, directed by Josh.
Yep.
So the Safdie brothers they're not like split forever, but they're taking a break from each other. So it's very intriguing that they both had sports themed movies come out here this year. So Benny
is doing more acting too.
And Benny's doing a ton more acting. So Benny directed Smashing Machine earlier this year, starring Dwayne Johnson, which I liked, but it did not have the pacing of what I would call a Safdie brothers film. Whereas Marty Supreme, I believe, has, at least for quite a bit of the movie, that signature pacing that you come to expect when you're watching a Safdie brothers thing. This one just being directed by Josh. He also wrote the screenplay with his co-writer that he works with a lot, Ronald Braunstein, who
also a producer.
Ronald Braunstein, married to Rachel Braunstein, who I believe did If I Had Legs I Could Kick You earlier this year. She directed that. So a lot of art in this family. So it's screenplay, one of the best screenplays, just so tight. Just the dialogue was snappy. I've just listened to an interview with Josh kind of right before, and Timothy was training hard on trying to say the dialogue at a certain pace, because he has necessarily not been in a movie where he had to say dialogue at the pace that he had to say dialogue in this film, just because it's got this just like frantic feeling to a lot of everything that's going on. It just feels, you never knew what the next scene was going to bring. Like, and there's no way to predict it. Like, you going into this movie, if you think that it's going to be some standard sports drama, period piece drama, no. There's just this unpredictability to everything that happens in this movie that just makes it where you do not want to take your eyes off of it. And I loved that aspect of it. I know last week we spoiled quite a bit of Avatar because who cares? Now with Marty, I think I do want to give people a little bit more time to go see this movie. So I don't necessarily want to spoil anything about it. We can hit the high notes and the high beats of the character work in it. But Marty, to me, everybody in this movie, pretty much every character, I think Josh in this interview said that there's like over 130 different characters that have a line in this movie, which is absolutely insane and not common at all. Not common. No. I mean, that is not something that happens in a Hollywood movie where you want to give 130 different people a line of dialogue. That just gives you just a small picture of how fast paced the movie kind of goes. But there are also some like intimate moments in it that aren't necessarily like thrown in your face. But for most of the movie, you're just going all over the place. It's just kind of that way. But everybody in the movie, I would venture to say, or most of the people in the movie are on the take. And what I kind of mean by that is there is a gimmick or something that they're doing in their life to try and get ahead that's not necessarily, I would say, on the up and up. Every character ends up, and some of them shockingly in a way, ends up doing things that dishonest people would do to try and get ahead.
Marty is a con artist in this film. I mean, he's a guy who's he's constantly running his mouth to say the things that he thinks you want to hear to try to get himself in a position where he's eventually going to hit big and make money and be fine and be in a position where he can pay everybody back and keep the promises that he's made all over the place. And the reality of it is, I mean, he's got to grow up.
Right.
But he and everyone's telling him he's got to grow up. But at the same time, he is such an ultra talented ping pong player.
Yeah. Despite himself, despite like how crummy of a person he is actually really talented at this sport.
Yes. He is a character that doesn't do good things and you kind of don't like, but at the same time, and it's kind of like Uncut Gems, at the same time, you want to see him win.
Yeah. You want to see, even though Safdie and I guess Ronald Braunstein are doing their damnedest to make you hate their protagonist. Like they want you to hate this kid so much, but you somehow, like, through all the crap that he puts everybody through around him, like his mom, his uncle, I mean, the woman that he's involved with, really both women that he's involved with in the film, like, he treats them all very poorly. And for the most part, you just don't want him to succeed, but there's something about him and just his willingness to do what it takes just to succeed in the goals that he's set for himself are somewhat admirable. I mean, it's like, I don't like what he's doing to get there, but I admire the guy. I mean, and he's only playing, like, that's the other thing. Like, the character he's playing is only 23 or around that age. Like, so he's like super young, hasn't really done, you find out at some point in the film, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler alert, but that he used to hustle quite a bit with his buddy played by Tyler, the Creator. That was like something that they would do, similar to like The Color of Money or The Hustler, for lack of.
And so this character is Marty Mauser. He's based on Marty Reisman, an actual young table tennis player. That would go out and hustle people. I saw a video today that I may send in the Discord when this episode is over. That had a guy who got hustled by Marty Reisman and was called up by Bernstein, I think, and Safdie. And they got his story basically where he came into this place and he was like, "Oh, I like table tennis. Let me go play some table tennis." He runs into this guy and he's winning some games against this guy. And then all of a sudden he realizes he's, the other guy's starting to play a little bit better. And all of a sudden he's putting up his paycheck and the guy says, "I'll spot you 18 points." And then all of a sudden it becomes 18-18. And then he lets him win another point, and eventually Marty crushes him.
And so that's not like, just as a layman coming into the movie, the thing that we as movie goers have seen a lot of in film is the concept of pool sharks. We've seen that a lot. We haven't seen like this whole table tennis ping pong shark type thing. Like that's not something that has been portrayed on film that often, at least that I can recall. And so it was funny to me, especially the bowling alley scene, where you've got this guy that is the king of the bowling alley, and he's the guy that at that one ping pong table that they have at the bowling alley, is always winning every time. And so Marty and his buddy sort of, figure out that this is the place where they can go to make some money pretty quickly, because this guy that's there already that thinks he's the king of this particular bowling alley ping pong place is going to be an easy mark, basically. And so that they need to make quick money, because a lot of things that Marty has done prior to that particular scene, he's racked up some bills overseas that he needs to pay off so he can continue aspiring to be the best ping pong player in the world or whatever.
In terms of tension, it's one of the most tense movies I've seen this year, at least. The hotel scene, we're not going to get into spoilers, but the hotel scene where he does a thing he's not supposed to do, and then some things result out. I mean, it's perfect in what it's trying to execute, but you're sitting in your seat like, stop.
So this year, the Academy Awards are adding casting to as an award, casting director, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is cast perfectly. Something that Safdie said in the interview that I listened to today that really resonated with me, that I've never really thought about, but of course it makes sense, that every actor that you're watching on screen, you're remembering, as you're watching this particular actor, you're remembering the history of that person's filmography just by it just sort of happens. As a movie fan or a movie goer, you're thinking of everything that person, fair or not, you're thinking of every role that person has had before they come into the movie and when you're watching them. And that's why, for me, Gwyneth Paltrow is perfectly cast in this.
She's awesome.
Because she's playing a character who was in the 30s, a famous actress, who a big movie star, and we're in the 50s now, and she's, kind of washed up, doesn't have much of a career, got herself pregnant, and felt like she needed to get married to this guy that is kind of the antagonist of the film in a way, that is a pen magnate, for lack of a better, he owns this company that produces some very popular Rockwell pens.
Rockwell Inc.
Rockwell, it's spelled INK, not INC, which I loved. I thought that was awesome. That was a great reveal. So so as you're watching Gwyneth Paltrow, you're kind of just by accident remembering all the stuff that she's done before. And she's an Academy Award winner, and maybe at the time you don't I don't feel like she deserved it for Shakespeare in Love, and there's so much hate of that movie in general, just because that was the year that everybody thought Saving Private Ryan was going to win.
Yeah.
And so you've got just what you are, this baggage of what you think Gwyneth Paltrow is as you're watching her portray this character, and it just makes the role so perfect for her. And she kind of falls for, I guess, probably just maybe in a sexual way, Marty. I don't know, she falls for him in a way oh, this is a guy that I could run off and get married to, but she's being shown attention that she has not been shown in a long time. So since she was an actress in the 30s or whatever, she's got this young kid who's acting like he idolizes her and wants to be with her in a relationship. And so she kind of is taken by him a little bit, but not totally, as we find. I mean, she knows that he's kind of full of it.
Yeah.
And so she just does so great in this movie. I was super impressed with her.
Yep.
Let's talk about
husband,
Rockwell.
though.
Yeah, let's talk about Rockwell.
He needs to be up for Best Supporting.
He definitely needs to be up for Best Supporting. Now, this dude has never acted before.
Yeah.
This is the guy from freaking
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. What's the guy's name?
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary,
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank.
I've watched a lot of Shark Tank, and this is
I haven't. It's not a show I really ever watched. I mean, I watched a couple of episodes of it here and there, just by not intentionally. But
I both like watching the people that come up with, or at least have good ideas and are pitching it well.
Yeah.
And the people who have terrible ideas and aren't pitching it well.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch both of those because they get torn apart, or the people go, "Oh, we really want your product." You know, it's fun watching either way.
Yeah.
And he is quite often a jerk on that show.
He is brilliant in this movie. So I don't know much about Kevin O'Leary, but apparently there's a lot of people in real life that do not like this guy.
Yeah, well,
especially a lot of people in Hollywood that do not like this guy, mostly for political reasons.
Yes.
But I'll put it this way. He is a Canadian who would love for America to annex Canada. It's like in real life, like he would love for America to annex. So you've got that type of baggage from a lot of people in Hollywood who do not like Kevin O'Leary. Again, perfect casting because he is the scummiest of scumbags in this movie. Just gives Marty a hard time in ways that are very unexpected but
really unexpected.
Very unexpected. I'm not saying that Marty might not have deserved some of what he got from that character, but he takes it to levels that are a little bit much, that you would think like, oh, this guy in a former life, this Rockwell guy in a former life was probably a slave owner. Like he's that type of guy. Like he's like a jerk of all jerks, man. And his performance was shockingly good. Like it's almost like the guy was acting, just being himself. He wasn't like acting. Now, obviously that's not true, but it's just amazing that this is his first like role ever. Like he's never, other than probably being a heightened version of himself on Shark Tank. So there's probably some acting involved there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was just brilliant in this because you go in thinking that you know this guy from Shark Tank. And so you go in with that. Again, it's almost like that same thing. Like you go in expecting a performance from this guy in a certain way.
Well,
and he kind of delivered, man.
Yeah, well, Bronstein and Safdie did call him up and specifically said, we wrote this character and we have you in mind. Yeah. And I think Bronstein said he had been binge watching Shark Tank and was like, this guy could play Rockwell in the movie. And when he got the call, like you said, he said, I'm not an actor. But and my agent's telling me not to do this. But so he thought, why not? Let's do it. And,
even if he doesn't, like, I'm not saying give the guy an Academy Award, but even if he gets a nomination for the role, that's huge, dude. Like that. The interesting thing that was happening, like I keep going over my mind about just what does success mean when it comes to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times we look at box office, a lot of times we look at awards. Like I think the fact that this movie even exists is a success.
Yeah.
Like this movie's not going to blow the box office away. It's probably going to get some nominations.
Look, if it gets to a certain point with the Christmas legs and the Christmas window, I mean, there are some people talking about 90 to 100 million domestic.
I would be super surprised if it did that. I'll be honest.
If it gets that, that's still not a profit for $70 million budget, but but then you've got overseas and you've got other ways of making money.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a much better result. So we'll see.
I hope so. I hope so. But for me, just like the fact that I watched this movie today, like this thing is brilliant. Like it's like one of the best movies of the year. Like I had moments of that when I was watching One Battle After Another.
Yes.
But I just hate the whole like politics of that film. I'm just not a fan of that. This movie, Marty Supreme, is just a movie about someone who probably they're dreaming big. Like that's the tagline, dream big.
Yes.
I mean, he's just kind of efforting everything that he can in what he's been given. So like he comes from nothing. He, lives with his mom. We don't hear much about his dad throughout the film. But he lives with his mom, who is played by Fran Drescher. She did great in it. Randomly, Sandra Bernhard is in this movie as a neighbor. So this is a very Jewish film also. Like all these characters are Jewish. So there's a lot of like, there's a moment, and I am going to spoil this moment because I think the weight of the moment like sort of goes over my head a little bit, but I get it. Like when he's hammering on the pyramid to get a piece of that rock to give his mom.
Yeah.
He's like, we built this. I mean, and like for me, I'm like, okay, I get what he's saying, but I think that there's like some heaviness about that. That maybe like only Jews can really understand. And even like his buddy that is also a former ping pong player, that random scene where he finds the honey.
Yeah.
Just so other people at the camp, I don't know if that really happened, but I'm like, man, that is like really heavy.
It's a weird looking scene, but at the same time, you're like, that's
weight of that, like that is huge. I mean,
yes,
and it could just be a fake story, but I'm just like, man, that's a pretty heavy.
But it's a story about survival.
It is a story about
there were a lot of people who survived those camps that had to do things that I'm sure were similar to that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I think Marty in a lot of ways like equates himself somewhat with just being a survivor. In anything and everything. Like he has this vision for himself that he's going to be the best ping pong player in the world. And I love that the movie subverts that expectation for the viewer. I'm not going to spoil anything, but everything that happens in the film is not like a traditional sports movie. It's not necessarily one of those things where the success that we think Marty had is what we thought was going to be the end of the movie. Yeah. That's not necessarily what happens. Not that I personally love the way the movie ends also. Just the impact of that moment and Timmy just turning that on at the end. Dude, that guy, he is like the next DiCaprio. I'm not going to call him the next Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm not going to go that far.
Here's something big to me.
Yeah.
Post-Track, which is a service like cinema score. To get people to rate films and give a lot of information about themselves and stuff like that. Data point, 50% of people on Post-Track said they went to see the movie because of Timothée Chalamet.
Wow.
That's to me,
that's getting to a level then. I mean,
that to me means that's a blossoming star. I mean, you've got to continue to do it, but
he's not like reached Denzel level or Daniel Day-Lewis level
or Leo,
or DiCaprio. Like he's not there yet, but we often have that conversation. We talked about it a lot on the old podcast, on episodes that you would come on, and like, is there even a such thing as a movie star anymore? Like, can anybody even draw a box office on name alone? Like back in the day in the 90s, when Harrison Ford was in something, he got paid $20 million and the movie made bank.
Yeah.
He was getting paid a crap ton of money. I don't know that there's that level of star anymore. A lot of what happens in Hollywood now is IP driven.
Well, and films are so much more expensive to make in terms of just inflation for budgets have gone up. So it's harder to make that movie where you were paying Harrison Ford that much for as much as they were making it.
Yeah.
Try to translate that into today and then have to make a profit on that. It's so different. So it's hard to say we'll ever be back there in that sense, but I think he's the closest thing we'll have to it.
And I was surprised. So like a couple of weeks ago, when you told me that this movie was a $70 million movie, that's big. That's the biggest A24 as far as I can recall. That I don't know that I necessarily see that in the movie, but they did a lot of location shooting,
tons of period dressing. They've got period clothing.
Mm-hmm.
They've got also as well, you've got the hotel scene, which has a whole second floor that they pan down from.
Right.
So there's a huge hotel set. There's a lot of stuff they clearly built for this film. So while it's on a small scale story-wise,
right,
there's just a lot that went into it clearly. And I'm sure Timmy took some money.
He's probably at least 10 million now, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's done Dune 2, and he was amazing in Dune 2. Like, I think he's probably at the 10 million level now.
Well, and you know about him on Dune, right? The whole Dune cast, really. They all took reduced budgets for Dune.
Oh, really? Reduced pay? Interesting.
So they all took kind of lower than you would for IP because they believed in the film and they wanted it to be kind of more economic for Denis.
Well, I'm sure he got paid for the third one, though. I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that budget will probably be close to 200.
I think the way that he has gone about his career is genius. Like, he's very calculated.
You know who he was mentored by, right?
I'm not sure.
Leo mentors him.
Oh, basically. Leo mentored him. Well, I know Leo told him no drugs, no, like, so there was some funny quote, like, don't there was like some, so I don't know, like, so anyways, like, even like, I could tell that he was talented even back when he did that Carell movie where he played the drug addict. Like, I could tell, like, Timmy was, but I didn't buy into him, like, for me personally, until that scene when he basically became Muad'Dib in
Dune 2.
Part 2. That was the moment where I was like, oh, he can take it to a different level. He just hasn't chosen to show us that yet until just now.
Yeah.
Until just that scene, really, like in like his career, like most of the stuff that he had done was more indie, smaller roles. I mean, obviously Call Me by Your Name got him some notoriety. So yeah, I could tell like the guy was a really good actor, but I'm like, there's no way he's going to be as big as Leo, as big as Daniel Day-Lewis. But I mean, after this performance, dude, I'm convinced that he could get there. I'm not saying that he's there yet, but I am convinced that he could seriously get there. So we'll see. Like, I don't necessarily, like, if you're comparing him to his peers, I think his peers make really bad choices in what movies they're going to be in.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think his next closest peer in terms of popularity in his age group, in terms of being a man.
And Tom has not made great choices.
And Tom, outside of Spider-Man, which I think his Spider-Man films are all good. Cherry is a terrible film.
Cherry's horrible.
The one that he did on Netflix with Robert Pattinson was okay.
Uncharted, not great.
Uncharted was okay.
Yeah, I mean, but look, we'll see. The Odyssey could be that film for Tom.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
The Odyssey could be the one.
And look, I'd love to see Timmy in a Nolan film too.
I would too. I mean, that would.
I like to see anybody in the Nolan film. He helps elevate performances, and I think getting back to Marty Supreme real quick, I think that's something that we need to credit Josh Safdie for. I mean, we don't get some of these performances. I don't think Kevin O'Leary's as good under, a more amateurish director.
No.
Than with a guy like Josh Safdie who clearly knows how to direct people.
Yeah, and it's all led to this for him. Like, this is his biggest movie. Like, this Uncut Gems was great and put both Safdies on the map. But because nobody had really seen, they had done a lot of stuff before that, but nobody.
Good Time was very small.
Good Time was small. Like, nobody had really tracked them until Uncut Gems, and now, at least for Josh, I don't know what Benny's next move is going to be, but I mean, Smashing Machine was fine, but it wasn't what this is. This is next level filmmaking on every level. Like the needle drops of all the 80s songs.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like, you go into this knowing that the movie takes place in the 50s, and yet they're playing a synth score.
Yes.
And needle drop 80s songs that are just, it's perfect. Like, it fits perfectly.
It does. I shout out to the composer, Daniel Loepin, I think.
Loepin,
yeah. He does a fantastic job with the score.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Perfect. It is so good.
it's a 50s movie with an 80s synth score and 80s music
and 80s music. Yeah.
And like you said, it just works.
Yeah. It really, really works. I do want to like shout out a couple of other performances in it. I'm not really familiar with Odessa Azanian. She's apparently Zion. She's apparently on a show on HBO that everybody was talking about.
Yeah, Rachel Sennett.
She's also a nepo. She's a nepo baby. She's Pamela Adlon's kid, which I didn't know until today. Like,
yeah,
I get that's cool.
She was good.
She was great. She delivered a really great performance. I love the reveal in, I guess it was the third act. I don't want to spoil it, but the reveal of what she was doing to try and get ahead worked really great for me because it shocked me. Like I was like, oh, she did that. And so, which caused Marty to do something that he probably shouldn't have done a little bit earlier scene. And I was like, oh, so she's just as bad as everybody.
Yes.
Or she's they're not bad, but she's just doing what she thinks she needs to do.
Yes.
To get ahead, which is what everybody in this movie is doing, basically.
Yes.
Also, the cameos in this are great. I don't want to necessarily spoil. I mean, I think you see Penn Jillette at some point. I won't tell you who he's playing, but it's a great character who you're like,
I noticed that.
Oh, you didn't notice Penn Jillette? Oh, he was great. Oh, his character was great. I'll tell you once we get off this who he was. It was great. But the coolest one for me, I would say on the lower scale, the other antagonist in the film, Abel Ferreira, who is a somewhat famous director, famous director. He did King of New York. That was probably like his biggest movie, but he was just slimy evil in this. He was great.
Yeah, at first he kind of comes in the hotel scene and seems okay.
Seems like a normal dude.
To kind of devolve over time, which is not. Look, that's also partially Marty's fault, but go see the film to see.
Yeah, go see like that's like. And what surprises me about this movie is that not everyone is in love with it. There's a lot of people, like I know Campia, John Campia does not like this movie at all. Because a lot of times I think when you're going to a movie, you want there to be a drawn line of who your protagonist is, and you want to love that person. And if you're not a person who goes to a movie that maybe is okay with the gray areas, then you're going to have a hard time loving Marty as a character. And if you can't buy into the character, you're obviously not going to like the movie that much. So it's not like, I think it's like at 80 something % on Rotten Tomatoes. And so not every critic loved this. I thought it was only at the end. Maybe that was audience score. I can't remember. I saw 80
audience score.
I saw 80% somewhere.
Yeah. The critic score is 95.
Oh, okay, good.
Score is 83.
That's what I saw. So I saw the audience score. So obviously, like, not everyone that is seeing this movie that does that rating system on Rotten Tomato is loving what is given to them. But dude, I was just blown away by it.
Verified audience score for Uncut Gems, 51%.
Yeah, so it beat that.
And to me, I think part of that is the ending. So the ending for Uncut Gems, I'll go ahead and spoil 100%. That. Yeah. He dies.
Yeah, he dies. Yeah, at the end. And Uncut Gems, yeah.
I think the last shot in this film is really brilliant.
It is. Gosh, it's perfect.
And it made me start to tear up.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, especially if you go, well, that'll spoil it if I say too much. But yes, there is, like, depending on where you are in your life.
Yeah.
This movie depicts something better than any movie that I've ever seen depict it. Especially like you go in and you've been through this whole journey with Marty, and the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, like just the crap that he has gone through. And in the end, all it took was this one moment for him, and a light bulb went on in his head, and
you see it in his face.
And you see it in his face. And that's the best, like, I've ever seen Timmy. Like, I've never seen that dude go to that level in that particular scene. It was just perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah. I have to agree. We're not going to go too far on that scene, but I love some of the cameos. I did want to point out that Ted Williams was in the movie. The man with the golden voice.
Yes.
When he popped up on the screen, I went, "That's that guy from the
that's the guy from the meme.
viral video."
Yeah, the video thing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad to see he's like sober and acting.
Yeah. You know? Yep. I mean,
and that to me is a dream big kind of thing.
Yes.
I mean, in the movie, you got some of these cameos that these people are guys that dream big.
All of them. Yeah, if you think about it, like Gillette, I mean, Abel Ferrer, to some extent, like Sandra Bernhard and Fran Drescher, like all these people have had moments in their lives where they've like for Fran Drescher being like the SAG president and to get them through, that particular strike was big, like huge for her in her life. That's like shining moment in her life. I mean, forget the nanny or whatever, but I mean, and there's just like people in this movie that, and mostly the side characters, and like Tyler, the Creator. I mean, that dude is super successful in the music industry and very unique voice. And for him to step into, it reminded me of like the first time I saw like Mos Def on act, and he continued acting a little bit, but the first time, like, and the guy that was an Outcast, like those guys that are able to bring that type of performance to like a rap performance, and then come in and do like a really good acting performance. And it's funny because his character is the one that's trying to go straight. Like he's the one who's just trying to,
he's got a wife and kid.
He's got a wife, he's got kids. So he's like trying to do the right thing, but Marty keeps bringing him into the fray of like the tornado that is Marty's life that keeps sucking all these people in. Gosh, it's just such a, like, I never knew what was going to happen at any moment. Like there's so many just like, what the heck just happened? Just shocking moments that work.
Farmhouse.
Yeah, the scene at the farmhouse.
Both scenes at the farmhouse, actually.
The farmhouse, yeah, exactly. Both scenes at the farmhouse, the scene at the gas station, the scene in the bowling alley. I mean, just so many just great things. We mentioned the hotel, just so many, or I guess that's more of a seedy motel. I wouldn't even call it a hotel. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff that happens. And Gwyneth, I think she deserves best supporting. I think she'll get it. I mean, there's so many good performances this year. That's what I was trying to think. Is this Timmy's year? A lot of people are saying Leo probably has a better shot than Timmy does. And the dark horse is Wagner Murrow for The Secret Agent. Which I haven't had a chance to see yet, but I've heard that performance is really stellar as well. But Timmy's great in it. I mean, he is. He's brilliant in it.
And
if he wins, he deserves to win.
And he's been knocking it out of the park advertising for this film, and apparently doing it out of his own pocket a little bit too, is my understanding.
Some people love what he's doing. Some people don't. That's that's what's interesting about this whole campaign. And I mean, Timothy has said, like, look, this campaign is what Marty would be doing. Like this would how Marty would promote himself. I don't know that the next movie Timothy does, he'll do the same thing. I don't think probably not. So it's
Dune 3 now. They've got such a big cast already for Dune 3. So
it's in the spirit of like who Marty Supreme is, not necessarily in real life who Timothy Chalamet is. I mean, people want to think that that's what's going on here, but I think he's pulling in a little bit of this is what Marty would be doing. So
yeah,
I mean,
you see the interview with him? I think it was maybe on British television or something, where the guy was asking about people that have dreamed big, and then he mentioned Susan Boyle. And the interviewer like starts to laugh a little bit, but like Timothy's totally like serious. And then Susan Boyle gets a Marty Supreme jacket sent to her and makes a video with it. So
I mean, look, there's truth to that. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, that woman was a nobody before she went on that show.
Absolutely.
And she blew Simon Cowell away, and
she became a sensation. Yeah.
She became a sensation. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what she's doing now, but I mean, she became a sensation for a little while.
That's yeah. Sure. I mean, she became a household name in America, which is kind of crazy.
The danger at any moment with any movie is like overhyping it. And I'm trying not to overhype it because I don't want people to go. I don't want people, because there's people that I know, like off the top of my head, that I know that could go see this and would not like it at all. Just because of the pacing of it, just like it's very safety. Like it's very there. We can now officially say there's a safety style.
I had to laugh when the opening sequence happens and a certain thing turns into a ping pong ball.
Yes.
And I was just like, that's very safety. That's
all that. Yeah. Yeah. He talked about that in the interview at how he was having a really hard time explaining to the CG artists like what he wanted to do in that opening scene. But what was funny to me is it kind of like reminded me of like those old 50s videos that they would make high school kids watch in sex ed class. Like it kind of just like reminded me of that. And I was like, this kind of tracks with the time period and whatnot. But yeah, no, I thought that was great. I thought that opening sequence was perfect. But yeah, again, we can now officially say that there is a safety style. Now, I don't know that Benny is following that to a T, but Josh sure is. I mean, Benny, I think, was trying to be more straightforward with Smashing Machine, whereas Josh kind of followed in the footsteps, I think, closer to Uncut Gems than Smashing Machine followed Uncut Gems. So
yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know if those guys are going to ever work together again. I hope they do. I mean, because I think they can together create magic, but it's very clear that I think Josh might be a more talented director than Benny, at least right now. Like, I don't know.
And he just does tension so well.
Oh, dude. Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to have a great script.
Yeah.
And then it's another thing to actually direct that script and have it on screen and look great and perform the way it's supposed to perform.
Yeah.
And yeah, he knocks it out of the park.
So look, I mean, I personally highly recommend Marty Supreme, but I can see where there is a group of people who would not like the way that this movie unfolds.
I have a friend who's a big movie fan. I texted him and I said, that might be my number one movie of the year. Yeah. And I went, crap, because like you said, did I just overhype the movie for the guy? And then he came out of it and said, that's my number one movie of the year. So I felt better.
Oh, he said that? Okay, good. Good. Yeah. I mean, I know that there is I would not say that Gen Pop, like Joe Schmo moviegoer, would be into this but at the same time, it's something special. It just is. It's something special.
I'll say this. When I went to see Uncut Gems, there was a small crowd and several of them walked out of the film. I think they went, it's an Adam Sandler movie. Let's go catch the new Adam Sandler.
Well, those people are idiots.
For this one, no person, decent crowd, walked out of that theater at all.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. This is not a type of movie that I think would make anybody walk out. But it's also not the type of movie that, like I was trying to describe before, like a lot of people want a more straightforward protagonist. And if they don't get that, then they feel jilted and they'll just not rank the movie as high as this would deserve. And that's fair. Like, I guess that's fair. Like,
yeah, I mean, we've all
like Campia. I respect Campia's opinions a lot.
Yeah.
And I was kind of shocked when he said he hated he hated the movie. And I was kind of shocked by that. Because I don't think this is the type of movie that you can necessarily hate, but I can empathize with someone saying that they wanted a different type of protagonist. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to like reach to help people that say that they don't like it, but to me it was I was just so glued to every moment that was happening. And and it wasn't trying to make any like political statements. It was just telling a story, and that's what I like. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I'm ready for Chalamet's next movie at this point. Hopefully, it moves its release date, but yeah, I'm excited for what this award season brings for him and all of it.
No, I'm too. So. Yeah, I mean, I hope that what he has been doing doesn't rankle the wrong feathers.
Yeah.
And the voters, like the old school voters that the Oscars have, I hope that they don't like punish him for campaigning the way he has, because it's either you campaign that way or you campaign behind the scenes with the studio's money. So there's campaigning going on either way. There's the campaigning that we don't see, and then there's this campaigning that, you know, Timmy's maybe doing with his own money and just getting out there and being, look, I think I delivered a great performance and I deserve any awards that come my way. Good. I wish more people would say that. I mean,
yeah, he's a guy who loves sports. He's clearly inspired by a lot of great athletes. Michael Jordan, I mean, he's mentioned them in the speeches. He's got Tom Brady wearing his jacket right now. You know, those guys are brash. They're out there. They talk, you know, they say, look, I just did something great. You know, if they did something great.
I think that what happens though, when it's hard to equate the two, like it's hard to equate like acting and sport and being a sports star. Yeah. And I think that's what's ruffling their feathers in a way that people don't.
Yeah, because they don't like the fact that reality is there are wins and losses in Hollywood.
Sure, totally.
And winning an award
every
is
day.
A win.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's not the same, but there are ways to win in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and Timothy's winning right now.
Like guys like Daniel Day-Lewis want to say that they hate winning awards, but they really love it. So look, I assume he'll get the nomination, but I think that the competition's a bit tighter than we think it is. Like I think a lot of people are wanting to maybe give Leo another one, but I've also heard that Wagner Moura's performance in The Secret Agent's really good too, so we'll see. So I don't know. I mean, just dream big, everybody.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do. Go see Marty Supreme and dream big.
Marty Supreme Christmas Day, as Timothy Chalamet likes to say.
That's right.
Well, I think this has been a successful edition of Cinema Debrief.
That's right.
We've got The Abyss coming up next week and our most anticipated films of 2026. We will see you next year in January.
Next year, that's right. Yeah, and we mentioned it a couple times throughout the episode, but we do have a Discord that we love that's active really pretty much every day, just talking about different things like TVs, movies, sports, like all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in being a part of the Cinema Debrief Discord, you can always email us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com. And we will gladly send you a link to our Discord, assuming that you're not some random Russian bot.
And where can we find you on the internet, Mikey?
Definitely. I am on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Michael Nipp. And also, of course, on Letterboxd as the Michael Nipp. If you want to look, if you're interested in my movie takes or whatever, that's where you can find most of those. I don't tweet or post, whatever they want to call it nowadays. I don't post that often on there, but I'll at least try and promote the podcast on there and Instagram as well. That's where you can find Cinema Debrief, is both on X and Instagram. I don't know for any place else, but that's where we are for sure. So please do follow us. We're trying to get this little tugboat started here. It's always interesting to start a podcast. It's been several years since I've done that. And so trying to get the word out on Cinema Debrief, it's been fun. It's like I said last week, it's kind of revitalized my love of this particular medium, which is, podcasting. I mean, I look, YouTube's fine. I like YouTube also, but I think podcasting is a different style of medium. I think it's more long form. and we can just dive deeper into specific movies, which is kind of what the goal of this podcast is. I'm not going to do lists anymore. Yes, we're going to talk about the movies that we're going to anticipate for 2026, but I didn't make a list. I'm just going to talk about them.
You can find me on Twitter at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3, and on Letterboxd at GRyfun. We'll see you next week for The Abyss.